music rights, it's a very complicated world. And there's two sides of things. There's the master recording, which is the actual recording of something. And then there's the composition underneath it. Did someone write a melody or a vocal line? And when you sample directly from another track, you're really violating both of those in most cases, right? The actual recording, and if it's long enough, the composition of what's happened. And it became such a part of culture because people were doing it. It inspired so much creativity. But you'd get releases where all of a sudden the original rights holder is, wait a second, that's my song. And you watch, these claims get made and royalties being taken. And you can clear things. You can go to the rights holders and say, I want to use this in my track, and they can sign off on it. And you will give them a split of the song or a buyout fee, something along those. But that takes forever. Tracking down the rights holders, finding that process just stifles creativity. And so what we wanted to do is create a very clean abstraction where you don't have to worry about anything. You go in, you find the sound, you get inspired, and you start writing. And you don't have to worry about the clearance. It's there. We protect you. And we really do want to make it so that when you're in that creative flow, that you don't have to have those thoughts going through your head about whether or not this is going to be legal.
So if I were to sing the word gelato right now and go, gelato, and then somebody makes that into a song, I could then sue them and make them either take it out of the song and get damages for it. And so if I wanted to take other people's stuff, what you're saying is, how do I sit there and jam and make a creative song if I have to go every time I want to add some beat, ask somebody for clearance? And if I take royalty free, I have to pay nothing forever for the life of it. You have bought that sample from somebody or made it yourselves. You buy that from somebody. They sign an agreement that says, I no longer own this. Splice owns it. And anybody who Splice sells it to down the road gets it for free forever. When I sign up for my $10 a month, I know that everything on the platform I never pay for again. And if I sold that gelato beautiful melody I just sang to Splice, and somebody made a song that became Baby Shark or whatever and made $1 billion off of it or $100 million off of it, I would see $0.0. Am I correct?
You wouldn't see 0.0, close. There's nuance to like what you're allowed to do with things. You can't redistribute the sample on its own as like another piece of a sample library. And technically they own it, but they are licensing it to us in this way. They get paid for a lot of our deals. The majority of our deals in Splice get a pro rata share of the downloads. So you get something every time someone downloads it. You just don't get something in the track. So on the recording side. And look, I think our artists know that going in. That's not a surprise. That's not a secret. But they're able to get relatively large payouts from the hundreds of thousands of people downloading their sounds. And that's a great income stream for them. They don't have to worry about maybe someone will have a hit. They just get paid on the download. And it's been really great to take and build careers off this like interesting abstraction in the space in this royalty-free music.
So just to make up a story here, I'm a young Mark Knopfler. I play guitar particularly well. I haven't written Sultans of Swing yet. And I'm just doing little guitar riffs or even playing chords. I put my collection of finger-picked, Stratocaster, amazing harmonic music, and I put that Mark Knopfler-esque sample up there. People start downloading it. It becomes popular in one song. Other people start saying, hey, where'd you get that from? I found it on Splice. Now everybody starts downloading it. You've got hundreds of thousands of members paying tens of dollars a month, which is hundreds of dollars a year. You're making tens of millions of dollars. You take the million samples or 100 million samples that get downloaded this month, and everybody gets a penny per download, 10 cents per download, whatever it happens to be.
It's a lot more than streaming royalties, I'll tell you that. And it doesn't have the same scale, but what's cool is it proportionally grows with how much we bring in. And what's good too is a lot of this stuff is evergreen, so it sticks around and people come in. It doesn't necessarily need to be a hit. So like, new people join the platform, they come back and they find that amazing guitar sample, and you can release more content all the time because these are they're smaller snippets, right? Some of these artists can create this like just in a day in their flow. It's I think it's like people are finding a really nice balance of sound design and sample creation as a new incremental form of their artistry and career. So like you can be working on full length tracks and then do these smaller tracks as well.
So what are the top 10% of people who are putting up samples there? Are they putting up dozens of samples, hundreds of samples, thousands of samples? Your top 20% creators, how
Yeah,
many samples do they have up there?
packs are somewhere between 100 and 500 sounds, and those
Got
can
it.
range. The difference between 100 and 500 is like how long they are, because some of them
Ah.
are just one shot, like drum hits and
Yeah.
stuff, right? So you want
Got
a
it.
lot of those. And then with the loops that have more melodic or longer form content, you can do less of those, and they get very popular.
So what would somebody in the top 25% of creators be able to make per month/year off of their a modest collection of sounds?
It's really, the dollar amount is very interesting because this is a unique revenue stream for them.
Yeah.
One, it's usually all incremental. Two, it's not really stepped on the way musicians are used to with, oh, there's a label in between, and then there's a this in
Yeah.
between processing, and then, or I'm touring and I have all the crew and all the travel expenses. Some people make a couple $1,000s a month off their tracks. Some people have made hundreds of thousands of dollars off their works. And what I love is just how happy they are for this revenue.
They could be a studio
Yeah.
musician and make their rent or mortgage every month.
For sure.
And when you're a studio musician and you play on a track, you just do a work for hire. Maybe you get some residuals, but probably you
It
don't.
depends. Yeah. Session musicians, deals and session musician land are all over the place. And
Yeah.
to have, some of my favorite text messages are when a musician friend just says, man, I just got my Splice check. And I'm just like so thankful for it.
It's amazing. What is the split between creators and Splice?
It really depends. So all the deals are pretty custom. Sometimes there's a buyout. Sometimes we really encourage everybody to continue to have a royalty just because we want them to see growth if they do very well on the platform. And it's a
You said
constant-
that you take
Yeah.
a certain percentage of revenue and split it between everybody. Is it 50-50,
Yeah, yeah.
70-30?
Yeah, it depends. Every deal is different. There's no
Do it on a
rate.
deal by deal basis. with
Yeah,
people.
yeah, because
Got
it's
it.
like how much content is coming in, what's unique about the artist. Sometimes they
Mm.
draw more people to the platform. We have
Got
a
it.
big in-house team as well. So I think I think one of the things, if you ever look at us in the news, I very rarely like to talk about any kind of Splice metrics or numbers other than artists paid. I just like to talk about artists paid. Like we announced 40 million paid out to artists.
So if in the last year you're doing 10 million a year or something to artists,
More
Ballpark?
than that, yeah.
more than that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, that is the stat I'm proud of. And I think that as we continue to scale, I listened to your NFT episode and I heard you talking about how cool it would be if with music rights, it wasn't just a consumption thing, but it was more of a how to use this and it looked like the music industry. I think what's really cool where we are is we have created this royalty-free opportunity, which is it's used in half a top 40 music at any given time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then now continuing to understand the artist and their needs. Where does scarcity, where does uniqueness, where does maybe royalty bearing, all these different opportunities to build off of where we are and keep paying out artists. I think there's a nice long road ahead of us on how we can continue to evolve the content side of the business.
Can anybody start putting samples on there, or you have to be approved?
I wish. The goal, we talk about wanting to build an open ecosystem, but originality is so important on the platform. And look, I can't have people running into copyright issues because they pulled something and quality issues. One of the things I think we're most known for is these samples can be pretty much dropped right into your track. And that's a rare sight. So I think as technology evolves and as our community and we want to lower the bar so more people can participate. But right now, we really think that quality and originality are higher concerns than the openness right now.
Let me just say up front, go to linkedin.com/unicorn and post your job for free. That's it. I'm giving the call to action up front. LinkedIn.com/unicorn, get your first job for free. And here's why you should do that. It's because many small business owners are super busy today. We all know that. You're searching for and interviewing the wrong candidates for a job opening would be better spent growing your business. We all know this. And you get so many people applying who are not qualified. It's hard. LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to get the right candidates who are worth your time interviewing. And it's fast and it's free. You can create a free job posting in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs and you'll reach the world's largest professional network of over 750 million people. You know this because you're on LinkedIn every week, you're probably using it multiple times a day if you're like me. And you can focus on candidates with the skills and experience you need and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified people. And those screening questions are great for filtering out people who are serious or not. Then you use simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you would like to interview and eventually hire. We love LinkedIn Jobs here at Launch, and in 2021, we've hired a third producer, a curriculum designer, and a couple of researchers who are crushing it. Once again, LinkedIn Jobs will help you find the right candidate worth interviewing faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/unicorn to post your first job for free. Terms and conditions apply because they're giving you a free job listing.